go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first I'd like to say thank you very much for coming out and listening to our presentation. I'm Rebecca Coleman, and I'm the presenter for the group. Also in our group is Sarah, Alyssa, and Emily, and Caitlin couldn't be here tonight. But
Because she is
on her way to London right now for spring break trip. But we are working with LCCOCS, kind of a tongue twister, Lawrence County Council of Community Service. And nobody in our group had ever really heard of this organization. We're not really that familiar with Newcastle. So we were excited to find out how much they are involved in the community and how they're trying to make it a better place and to really help a struggling community, because Newcastle is facing a lot of issues that a lot of towns around, or counties around here are. So we decided that since we didn't know very much about the council, that we would come to a meeting. And they meet monthly, and it was a really, really great experience because we were able to see firsthand what happens. And from what we had heard from our contact person, Angie, we were a little hesitant. She had said about recruiting, so we didn't know what to expect. And we came, and it was awesome because there was actually a lot more people there than we thought were going to be there. And we got to see some networking actually happening and some connecting. And it was really great to see. So that got us really excited to start working with this. And the LCCOCS's purpose proposes the following mission: to educate and provide information to the community and also to community service organizations. They really want to, promote being healthy and staying connected and welfare and education and recreation all throughout Lawrence County, not just in Newcastle. So after going to the meeting and talking to some people, we realized that there was a lot of challenges that they face. One of them has to do with recruiting and maintaining people. A lot of organizations come, but then they leave. And a lot of that, they say, has to do with unclear benefits. They're not sure what they're getting out of the meetings, and also cuts in budgets. I mean, the economy's struggling right now. Everybody knows that. So the fact that a lot of organizations are losing their funding, and they're not seeing this as something they need to be at. And last thing is lack of time. I mean, everybody has a bunch of different things to do, and this is a volunteer thing. So with cuts in budgets, people have to do more than they ever had. So to get to this is definitely hard. So where do we go from a good foundation? Basically, we want to enhance the image. We want to increase and maintain current membership. We want to get the word out to the community, because the community doesn't really know about the council. And our objectives are to increase awareness, to increase attendance, but not only attendance, but also membership, because some people do just come and they're not actually members. Also, we want to develop and promote a directory that has all the community service organizations in Lawrence County, because right now there's no list to go look if you're searching or you have a question. And also eventually possibly add an intern to help out with LCCOCS. And we have a couple messages for our campaign, and one of them is get connected with Lawrence County Council of Community Service. We want to focus and stress on that connection, because it's really great to see everybody getting together and trying to fix things. Also, have a question, Lawrence County Cares. Visit www.lawrencecountycares.org. That's more for when we finally get the new website that they're working on right now up and running. It'd be a great way to promote the new website. So I'm sure you're wondering, well, how do we get to all these things? First, I'd like to show you a little bit about the research we've done, and then our proposal, and the last step would be implementation. Our research, we did a couple different things. We did a survey, we did 2 interviews, and we did a focus group. We're going to probably try to do another survey, but as far as our first survey, we wanted to look at why people are involved, and the biggest thing is that they're involved because it's part of their job. And that's great that it's part of their job, but we want them to be there because they want to be there, not because they have to be there. And going along with that is the usefulness of the meetings. Now, a lot of people do find it useful or somewhat useful, but there's 20% that really don't think it's useful. And we just really don't think that that's a good number. You want everybody at these meetings to get something out of it. We also looked at how they're getting invited and how that's going on. A lot of it was just because it's part of their job, like I said, or referral's pretty the next thing. But basically, we were looking at it as, they don't use social media to reach out to people, so, new ways of getting people involved instead of just, through their job or word of mouth. And also, we looked at social media because social media is a growing trend. It's something that a lot of companies and organizations are starting to use. And I know some people aren't very comfortable with that because they're not used to it, but I definitely think that it would be very helpful, and it's a free way of promotion. So we want to deal with that because a lot of people have never used it, but there's also people that told us that just because they don't use it, it's because they don't know how to use it, and we definitely want to reach out to them because of that. We did interviews. The first interview was with Renee Bateman. She's the coordinator of health promotions at Slippery Rock. And we did this because she heads up the Coalition of Drug and Alcohol, and they do similar things to the council, so we thought that it was a great outside perspective to ask. So she basically said how we need to make members feel important, send thank yous, make an accreditation so that they feel like they're important to the organization. Our second interview was with Susan Davis, who's the vice president, and Angie Moore, our contact person, and we just learned a little bit more about the organization when we did that they only really recruit through word of mouth. They don't use social media at all, and Susan just wanted to stress, that they don't have a lot of time, that this is an extra thing for them. So. And lastly was our focus group, which I know I can speak for our entire group when I say that was probably one of the most helpful things we've done so far. We got a lot of great information. There was people that have never been there, that have been there and left, and people that are currently in the organization. So we found out that, some people have never even heard of LCCOCS in the community, and they were from community service organizations, so that's not a good thing. And basically, they just gave us some tips, like maybe changing the name of the council. It's a little bit long, hard to remember. Possibly changing the format of meetings with more relevant information. A monthly newsletter was brought up in all our research as being really important. Making a more useful website, and having an activities fair, connecting with the community, because right now they don't do a lot of that, and basically using social media. So now let's dive into the campaign proposal. Our first part deals with member relations, and we really want the members to feel important and to be involved. So we think that the meeting structure needs to change. Right now, instead of having someone from the organization speak monthly, having a keynote speaker, it could be the police commissioner, the mayor, a social media strategist, somebody so that it's almost like a mini seminar, so that they get more out of it than just, hi, I'm in the council, I'm in the organization, I've been here for a while. It's kind of not doing anything for them. And also by collaborating, not maybe having everybody talk at each month, but picking a specific topic and going with that and saying, okay, we all need to get together, and this is what we're going to work on this month. Bring your resources, bring your information, and trying to get more done. Also accreditation, people like to see their name, and community members like to see that they're a credible source. So on the website, if you've been a member for a year, you get an accreditation. If you've been a member for 10 years, you become a gold member, something like that we put on the website. Our special event, we want to really reach out to the community, so can you zoom in on that? So we want to have a community connection day, and we were thinking the Y, because when we talked to the guy from the Y, they really want to get involved. And it would be just a day where all the organizations could come out, give their information, and the kids could do activities, and there could be food, and just stuff like that, so that the community has fun, but they also learn all about these organizations out there. Our media relations, we really want to work on social media, creating a Facebook and a Twitter, and we really like an idea of a blog with pictures, maybe videos, so that people can see what happens at these meetings and they really get a feel for how we're trying to help out the community. We also want to send out press releases about our events, about anything. If something is going on at a monthly meeting that we think more people should be at, maybe send it out that way. And as far as the website goes, we aren't really working on that because a couple students from Westminster will be handling that, but we have a couple ideas for organizing it, so that would be that. Print publications, this is our monthly newsletter. We didn't have information to put on it yet, but that's kind of the design we were thinking about. And also an organizational advisory to send out, and there's a bargain bulletin which is free, so we really think they should take that into consideration, and an entire media kit that we're creating with the press releases and advisories and all that. We also were thinking about rebranding. I know that that's hard, but it's kind of confusing. The website is Lawrence County Cares, but the name is LCCOCS, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, and even some people refer to it as LCCOCS, which is kind of just off-putting a little. So we were thinking LCC because it just kind of makes sense. It goes with the website. You don't have to change the website's name. And we also updated the logo. It's similar, but it's a little modern, a little fresh. Our group member Alyssa had done that. And in the future, because we can't be with you guys for very long, we're thinking, you know, look into an intern. I realize that it could have some downfalls, but there's Slippery Rock right there in Westminster, and there's plenty of interns that need internships. So you'd be able to have people help you with the paperwork and help you with the newsletter. It wouldn't all just be you taking some of the time off. Maybe billboards, once you start to get a bit better budget on buses, regular billboards, just so people see the name and it starts to become familiar with the community. And then I noticed somebody said, you know, they don't have anything to hand out when they go places. You know, so maybe make pens or notepads or little, you know, cards that you can hand out when you're in the community so that people start to remember, because people love free stuff.
You're right.
And basically the last step will be implementation of all these things, and we have all this stuff set up. We're going to continue to work on it so that we can give it to you, so that when we do leave, you guys, you have everything. All you need to do is put the dates on it and send it out. And our biggest thing is, we realize you don't have a lot of time, so we came up with a little motto that says, little changes make big impact. So our little changes that we're giving you can make a huge impact, and it definitely wouldn't take a ton on your part to make this organization really great. So thank you for your time. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
I just want to say I think you did a fantastic job. I think you have an incredible amount of insight about what you've observed. I have I work in 4 different counties, and so I've seen these human service collaboratives in different counties. And some of them are a little bit more successful than others, and I think you really hit the nail on the head that I think the key to success is to make it seem like a more professional organization. The people that are attending are all in the social service field, so they have that in common. So I think some of your ideas about making membership seem like a more important, something significant, they're great ideas. I love the newsletter. I hope that happens. That looks fantastic. I would even suggest maybe, you know, some of your ideas